Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I am the founder of the Marriage Foundation, and I wish this title was separated for men and for women, but I will do my best to address it generically. And the topic is how to stop your spouse from cheating. And I can address it generally because the means to achieve that is literally the same. However, the results are sometimes different depending on who's doing the cheating. But let's get into this. Now remember, I was a divorce mediator before I started doing this, so I saw a lot of this happening. And I want to tell you that what I noticed in my years was that the spouse who was cheating felt justified. And it was like, almost like they were saying to their spouse who was betrayed, I told you I can do better than how you treated me. And it came out, and it wasn't so subtle. And I learned from that. In fact, there's a lot that I learned doing the divorce mediation that I've been able to place into our books here and into the courses that we have. And if your spouse is cheating, you need the course. But the reality is that unless you choose to not take it personally, you're going to be reactive that you would be betrayed and having expectations that your spouse will change. But the problem is, they're not going to. Will they stop cheating? Yes, if you take this message the right way. And what does that mean? So you have to understand that people cheat, and I'm not talking about the 1% who are just a-holes and, they never intended to be loyal. Talking about the people who got married with all the right intentions. They wanted the same thing you wanted. They wanted happiness and they wanted love. But what happened was that as your marriage progressed, the number one seen killer of marriages kept creeping in, which is over familiarity. And by the way, you should definitely be a subscriber to the channel so you could learn all these things. And so what happened was this over-familiarity manifests as taking each other for granted. You began your relationship with your soulmate by being extra courteous, extra nice, smiling all the time, doing for, caring about, listening, doing all the right things so that you could win them over. And then what happened was you started getting used to them being there and took it for granted, and you started treating them like crap. I'm not going to use any other word, because why else would they break their vow? And I'm not saying it's okay to break your vow because of this, but why else would they? They're moral, they have morality, but why would they break their vow? Why would they throw themselves under the bus like that unless they felt so abused that they just couldn't take it anymore, but they didn't want to end their family? You probably have kids, and so they cheated on you. You got to understand where they're coming from, or you're not going to heal your marriage, and your marriage is going to come to an end. So what happens is this. Your spouse, male or female, tried their best to let you know in their own way, doing their best, and they didn't do a very good job of letting you know that you were letting them down. Now, I'm not saying you were. I'm saying from their point of view, you were letting them down. They let you know or realized they had no way of telling you. And even if you heard, because we're controlled by our minds, and this is all It's all interconnected. But you didn't pay attention. You missed it. And they're cheating on you because they're escaping what they thought would be heaven on earth. They escaped what turned out to be hell on earth. And you're miserable too in your marriage. And you can't tell me you're not. And so what happened was they made the first move. Now you could get all uppity if you want and say, how dare they? I'm offended. They're immoral, blah, blah, blahs. And if that's where you're coming from, your marriage is over. But if you go, okay, I don't like it, but Paul's making a valid point, and they didn't have to be to the extreme of cheating on me, but Paul's making a point, then how do you stop your spouse from cheating on you? And I'm going to go further. How do you stop this momentum going towards a divorce? Because if they're cheating on you, it's just a matter of time. And that's what this video is all about. So if you take the course, and the course is an absolute necessity if your spouse is cheating on you. There is no other way to save your marriage other than our course. And I'm going to say 80% of the people who come to us because their spouse is cheating on them. Now, I didn't do a statistical read on this, but I'm going to guess 80%. Of those 80%, I'm going to tell you that 95% are able to not just save their marriage by using the course. And this is not an ad. I'm going to tell you the reason why the course works. 95% of those people don't just save their marriage. They turn their marriage into the heaven on earth that everyone expected when you got married. How? Why? Because we know things that other people don't know. The whole world of traditional marriage counseling is dumb. They're good people, don't get me wrong, but they don't understand marriage. I was not a psychologist. I was a divorce mediator. So I had to reinvent marriage from the bottom up. And I did. So our course is a two-pronged course. And these things will surprise you. Well, one of them will. Number one is you have to learn how to master your mind. You've never heard that before, have you? Well, I'll explain it. Your mind is a possession, but it's in between you, the soul, and your spouse. The rest of the world too, but forget the rest of the world. So where you got married in order to just give love unconditionally, that's why you got married. You promised that you would give love unconditionally. The mind pops in, stimulated by the body. You own the body. It's not you. It's a possession. But it's constantly telling the mind, there's danger in opening up. There's danger in just being nice. There's danger in not setting up boundaries. There's danger in this, danger in that. So your unconditional love is totally conditional to the point of where it's not even nice, not coming through anymore. You could say, no, I love my husband, I love my wife completely, I do, and it's not showing up in your behavior. And you can't just change your behavior. If you don't get that mind under your control, learn how to master your mind, you can't penetrate it just with desire. You have to learn how to do this. And I came up with a technique. I didn't design it. I'll be honest with you. I meditated and prayed, God, how do I help this couple? Way back in the beginning with my very first couple. And I was given what is called now the SEW technique, S-E-W. S for stop, E for evaluate, W for wisdom. Too extensive for me to explain now, but it is a method, the most amazing tool, used for the purpose of mastering the mind. You master the mind, and what happens is you stop it from doing its thing. Its thing has nothing to do with love. Your thing as a soul has everything to do with love. You want to express unconditional love. You're in this, I call it the sacred space of marriage. Just the two of you are in it. You're soulmates who have become cellmates, and your partner escaped. How do you get them to stop cheating on you? How do you get them to want to be with you exclusively is the right question. And the answer is very simple. You give them what you promised. You give them what you showed. But you don't know nothing about marriage. And so the second prong of the course is learning how to be married. So it's this two-pronged approach, and they're interwoven. And you learn how to master your mind, you learn all about marriage, and the 95% whose spouse is cheating on them, they turn their marriages into amazing. Now, we also have those whose spouse has left. We also have those whose spouses are using porn, who are having an emotional affair. All these different things come up. We always get the extreme cases. That's why we're here. And for those who are going through an extreme situation, we are the perfect answer. So, how to stop your spouse from cheating? You can't stop them. They have free will. But you can behave in a way that brings them back to you. And you can't fake it. If you do, they won't trust it. They won't believe it. You have to change. And how do you do that? That's what the course will help you do. Can you do it without the course? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anyone who ever has done so. But I do know the course will work. So it's definitely worth the investment. So I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. You should definitely be a subscriber to this channel. Even if you're not going to run off and sign up for the course right now, you should subscribe so you could learn about marriage, at least on this plane. And if you've been following and you like what we're doing and you're already, we're going to start training TMF counselors again to work in the world. And hopefully you'd be interested in that too. So God bless you. I'm very appreciative that you stopped by. I hope this was useful and helpful. Like it, leave a comment if you want, and take care.